Candace Owens, not all money is good money. Hi, welcome to JOA. If you're new to my channel, please click subscribe and click that bell button so you'll be the first to know when I upload. I'd really appreciate if you subscribe and you click the bell. Y'all, I do daily videos, but today I wasn't even sure I was going to do a video. What would really motivate me if you do contribute to my channel at patreon.com/JOA. I'm on that different type of membership because, I mean, YouTube, which I love this platform, they're not really, promising towards the content I give out to y'all. And, it's like monetarily wise, I got to choose another avenue. So patreon.com/JOA. It's a safe site. I mean, I don't understand, it's you can cancel before every first of the month you get charged the donation that you contribute on your card. It's pretty simple. And I had some people cancel already and nothing really happens. You don't get charged again. So it's pretty safe. It's pretty secure. JOAmedia1.com, JOAmedia1@gmail.com if you want to advertise on YouTube. I want you guys to watch this woman, Candace Owens, on, the Daily Wire, and which is like a right-wing show. And I'm going to come back with some more.
In my opinion, and I think that it's indicative of the fact that we now live in mob rule. This is mob rule society. Yeah. I mean, this is based on the evidence that we saw, and this was polluted from start to finish. So to me, the most important element of this, which I found to be astonishing, was the fact that they never released the full police footage. They had it, they sat on it, They locked it down. It leaked months and months later after the riots, via the Daily Mail, I think. But when I watched the full tape, I was astonished that they didn't think to just at least add this context so that people understood, yes, this person was high out of his mind. He asked to be put on the ground. He was resisting arrest. Let's not forget what they did, the power they had in setting up this narrative to begin with. First, the media said he was just getting his life together. You remember St. George?
Yeah, they do
you guys remember St. George, right? He was just getting his life together. He had moved to Minnesota. Yes, he was, had been in prison in the past, but he was just helping the youth. And everyone was crying, and it was, oh my gosh, this man is, was getting a second chance at life, and, maybe had the wrong idea or whatever it was using counterfeit bills, and somebody called the police, and then he was killed. He was brutally murdered on the basis of him being black. No indication. Nothing was said out of Derek Chauvin's mouth that, should insinuate that this was about being black versus white, but that was what the media ran with. And then they successfully hid every piece of evidence that would have transformed public opinion, right? Every piece of evidence that would have said, wait a second, there's more here. And they were upset when I released a video and just went over his track record, because it was clear to me, according to his track record, that it was very unlikely that a person that spends, approximately 9 stints in prison was really just getting his life together after having served the last one. So, to me, I think the saddest part of this is that what we need to acknowledge is that right now, mob rules. The media creates the mob, and the mob rules, and that's what we just saw play out. Let's just talk about how unusual that is, right? That they never released this full footage so that we could at least see the context and see more, at least be able to discern more facts other than somebody who's a bystander filming the video. And remember when Brad Parscale, I want to bring up Brad Parscale. Do you remember how quickly that footage was released when Brad Parscale, got arrested when he was drunk and he got into a spat with his wife? They released that footage like almost in the next minute. He got arrested on a Monday and we had the footage by Monday afternoon. But George Floyd footage, it was never for public consumption. The Daily Mail got it months later. The video I did, 100 million views, and they couldn't believe it because, oh my gosh, I'm alleging that maybe your little child shouldn't be, I don't care what's happened, maybe she shouldn't be wearing a George Floyd shirt. Maybe they shouldn't be getting baptized in George Floyd's circle or, wherever it was they were taking their children to be baptized. They literally tried to transform him into a saint.
Yeah.
They wanted to saint this man. And all you had to do was look at his record and say, he has a wake of victims in his past. Right. Imagine the woman who, when he, got arrested for the armed robbery, broke into her home, put a gun to her stomach. Her child, her minor child, was in the room during that time because he was looking for drugs and money. He pretended, they pretended to be the waterman, and he breaks into the home. And imagine that woman watching the media saint this man.
Right.
Imagine that victim. And why I always say this is that actually black female lives definitely don't matter.
Well, that's true
because
too.
these
that's
black men that they keep hailing as heroes and victims always leave a trail of female Black victims in their wake, and nobody cares. I don't blame the cops, and I think we're going to see this, and I do not blame the cops. If I had, if my son grew up and said, I want to be a police officer, I'd say absolutely not. Are you kidding me? None of this stuff would happen, these mistakes, if people could listen to police officers' instructions. It's not that hard, right? And right now you have Black Americans that are learning that it doesn't matter. You shouldn't have to. In fact, the best case scenario is for a police officer to do anything wrong while you're resisting arrest, because you will be transformed from a hero. And I say transform, I'm talking about from a drug dealer, from a drug user. I mean, all of these people from, an accused rapist into a hero. All you have to do is resist arrest and hope that a police officer makes a mistake in the moment, which is likely to happen when adrenaline is running through in your veins, because you're wondering, am I going to survive this? Because police officers also have to go home to families, right? Am I going to live when Rashad, whatever his name was, Rashad, who was the guy in Atlanta, who grabbed, Rayshard Brooks, grabbed the taser? What are you thinking a police officer is going to think in that moment? And yet still, the police officers are always demonized. There's no incentive right now in this country to be a police officer.
Had Candace Owens not had a track record of, let's say, settling on a lawsuit, NAACP gave her over $37,000 when she was called like a whole bunch of racial slurs by the N-word. Her and her father got an attorney and they submitted paperwork for the lawsuit, but yet she goes on Joe Rogan, who was the guy off of Fear Factor, has a podcast, and tells him this lie that she didn't even care about the whole racial slurs when you and your father, Robert Owens, submitted a lawsuit through the NAACP to get an over 37 grand settlement. Okay, don't tell me you didn't need that money, because you are from the hood. Okay, you're not rich. You dropped out of college for the lack of money, okay? So don't sit here and tell me that you didn't need that money on Joe Rogan. And today, she's always just like saying bad shit about an organization that gave her a huge ass settlement. I mean, $37,000, over $37,000. You can do a lot with that money. That's a full-time income in my book. And then she had this she had a left-wing blog bullying right-wingers like Donald Trump, picking on his wee-wee, calling it small, tackling about his looks and so on and so forth. That blog didn't do well. Then she decided to form this little company to where they can monitor bullying off of social media. And that little company that failed made her turn conservative because she was being picked on by left-wing activist. That was the reason why she decided to turn conservative, was because her blog went south. People on the left didn't defend her, and she got some support from the right-wing conservatives and some hate as well. And people on the left, everybody on the left supposed to defend you for you to stay on the left? Nah, that's a whole bunch of BS. There's really not much to say about this whole situation. She was really just rambling about the whole thing. She was talking in front of all white people who can just sit there and say, let this clown that is African American talk the way she want to talk, so that way they won't call us racist white people. And so like she did their job. They just was sitting there like Ben Shapiro, just sitting there like this, looking at her. The other guy with the beard was just like looking at her straight up. The dude next to her, the bald man, was just like staring at her. Like, it's like, I mean, she's doing their job. She's providing their commentary, which is why they hired her on a Daily Wire to begin with. And so I just really can't take a woman seriously at all. Also, a lot of people like to bring up her whole Hitler commentary. They just like to, choose a little snippet of a clip, which really does sound kind of questioning towards if she is a fan of Hitler or not. But that's been debunked by her through Congress. I mean, Congressman Lou even tried to get her on that. Didn't really play the whole clip. And she justified the situation by saying that the left-wing media, that's their problem. They edit versions. They don't play the full clip. And that she has a show through PragerU on YouTube, which is like a Jewish type of organization that sponsors her channel called The Candace Show on TV, on YouTube. And now she has this damn talk show that's local in Tennessee. And, that's actually doing quite well through YouTube views. I'm not sure how is it doing it locally on TV in that area because I'm not in Tennessee. And so the woman is making money to tout her dollars. Now, y'all, had she just straight up didn't have a lying track record of getting money through the NAACP, having this liberal blog, picking on Donald Trump, who she supports and who really got her to where she is through just like being on Fox News, being on television, being at the White House, so on and so forth. Had she not had these things, then I would actually believe that this woman's an actual conservative. But nah, dog, you got a track record that makes you look like a con artist, and that's what you really are. She reminds me of that black chick that went on Dr. Phil that said she hated being black, and the reason why I came to find out that they went on that show is because they can be famous like the white girl Catch Me Outside. It don't work for black people that way. The only way it works for black people if you're a beautiful woman like Candace Owens and you create a YouTube channel and you have a voice that doesn't sound ghetto, that's articulate, and you're able to spew the hatred that these right-wing white supremacists spew. And she does that on a daily basis, and she does it well. And this is why she is where she is at the moment. And white people really can just sit there, and whenever there's like a huge chaos, like with a George Floyd or with a Dante Wright or with whoever, Fox News will bring her on that day to debunk what like 85% of black people are saying in the United States of America, and that's all. Anyways, y'all, let me know what you say. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I appreciate your donation at patreon.com/JOA $5. I know you got it. $5 a month. I know you got it. Appreciate your support on patreon.com. I need to make it a little jingle. But thank you so much for the support so far. Sometimes I don't give myself credit. It's really, really hard to grow a platform, like really hard. And I'm grateful that I'm able to talk to you guys throughout various parts of the world, various parts of the States. Thank you so much. Subscribe, click the bell so you'll be the first to know when I upload. Deuces. Yay.